Okay, now we'll talk about variation of pressure with depth. Fine. Okay. Now, if I keep this book on my head, then I will feel some pressure due to the weight of the book, right? If I keep another book on the top of that book, then I will feel more pressure. If I keep another book, I will feel more pressure. Getting this? So basically, why I am feeling the pressure? Because I am withstanding the weight of all those books. More the books, more the weight, more the pressure I will feel, or more the pressure will be exerted on me. Getting this? Okay. So we'll talk about the same thing over here. Variation of pressure with depth. Now look here. This is the container we have taken. In that container there is some liquid we have taken. Okay. So right now we are going to discuss variation of pressure with depth with constant rho, that is density of the fluid is constant. So we'll say that liquid is that fluid because density of the fluid remains constant. Liquid is quite incompressible. Fine. Okay. So this is the liquid that we have taken in a container, and like we did last time, we are going to imagine a part of the liquid that will be of the shape of a cylinder, a vertical cylinder right now. Fine. So this black part is the part of the liquid. There is a liquid everywhere in the container, right? So this black part is only that part of the liquid that I am going to consider, which has the shape of a cylinder. So obviously this is a liquid cylinder. Okay? And let us say that the cross section area of that cylinder is A. Height of that cylinder is H. Right? Now is this cylinder in equilibrium inside that liquid? Yes, it is in equilibrium. That means the forces acting on it should balance each other. Fine? Okay. Now I am saying that this is point 1 and this is point 2. So pressure at 1 is suppose P1 and pressure at 2 is P2. Fine? So P1 is the pressure applied by the external fluid on the above surface. P2 is the pressure applied by the external fluid on the bottom surface. Now as we had discussed in our last lecture, the force will always be perpendicular to any surface that we consider in the fluid, right? So the force due to the pressure P1 will be nothing but P1 into A, because as pressure is force upon area, force will be pressure into area. So the pressure will be P1 into A. How? Perpendicular to the area. The force over here will be P2 into A. How? Perpendicular to the area. These are the forces acting on the vertical cylinder. This downward and this upward. What about the weight of the liquid column? That also should be considered. So the weight is nothing but mg, where m is the mass of that liquid, cylindrical part of the liquid. Right? Okay. So the forces should balance each other. That means the total downward forces should be upward force should be equal to the upward force. So and hence P1A plus mg is equal to P2A. Right? So I have taken P1 and P2 on one side. So P2A minus P1A will be equal to mg. I am taking A out of the bracket. So that will be equal to mg. Now density is what? Density is mass upon volume. So density is mass upon volume. So m upon ah. What is h? H is the volume. Whose volume? Volume of the cylinder. Its cross section area into height. That will be the volume of the solid cylinder. Right? So that is the volume. And hence mass has come out to be equal to what? Density into A into H. Right? So we will put this over here. So I will get P2 minus P1 into A. That will be equal to, instead of M, I will put rho AH and G. Okay? A and A will get cancelled. P2 minus P1 has come out to equal to what? Rho GH. That means the difference in the pressure is equal to rho GH, where rho is the density of the liquid. Okay? Or if from any point, as we start going below the liquid, the pressure at that point, the bottom point, will go on increasing. ठीक है, if this height is h, if the pressure over here is something, the pressure over here will be greater than this pressure by rho gh. Getting this? Now why this pressure is greater? Because it has to withstand or hold the liquid above it, the weight of the liquid above it, and hence the pressure at the bottom is always greater. Fine? Getting this? Okay. So from here P2 is what? P2 is P1 plus rho gh. P2 is P1 plus rho gh, or P2 is greater than P1 by amount rho gh. Fine? Okay. Okay. Now you understood this. Now look here. This surface of the liquid is open to the atmosphere. So all the points on the surface will have atmospheric pressure acting on them. All the points on this surface will have atmospheric pressure acting on them. Now once again, where has the atmospheric pressure, where is the atmospheric pressure coming from? Now we know that Earth is surrounded by atmosphere, starting from the sea level up till the outer edge of the atmosphere. So right now when we stand on any surface, on ground or anywhere, we are supporting what? The weight of the atmosphere above us. We are withstanding the weight of the atmosphere above us, and that causes the pressure on us. Okay? And that is nothing but the atmospheric pressure. So at sea level, the atmospheric pressure will be maximum, because at sea level the weight of the air column starting from the sea level to the top of the atmosphere will be maximum. But if we are on some mountain, then the atmospheric pressure over there will be lesser. Why? Because now from the mountain the weight of the air column will be lesser. Fine? At sea level the atmospheric pressure is 10 raised to 5 newtons per meter square. It is also called as 1 bar or 1 atm, 1 atmosphere. Okay? Anyway, so depending on where our this setup is, there will be atmospheric pressure acting on that surface. If it is at the sea level, if this container, then the atmospheric pressure is 10 raised to 5 newtons per meter square. Anyway, okay, so whatever the atmospheric pressure may be, it is acting at the top surface. Fine. But as we go below the from the top surface below the liquid, the pressure at that point further goes on increasing, because over here the pressure was only due to the weight of the atmosphere above that point. Now as we go below the surface of the liquid, the pressure will go on increasing. Why? Because at this point now we have two weights above that point: atmospheric weight, weight due to the atmosphere, also weight due to the fluid or liquid. Getting this? Okay. So over here we have just found out the difference, or we are saying P2 is equal to P1 plus rho gh. Now if I shift this one point, the point 1 that we have considered, at the surface, then how will the diagram be? This diagram should be inside the liquid now. The diagram will be like this. Now at this point, that means this point will be over here, the pressure will be atmospheric pressure, right? So the equation will change to what? P2 is equal to, instead of P1 there will be P atmospheric. P2 is equal to PA plus rho gh. Getting this? Okay. Now P2 can be anywhere, right? And h is that corresponding distance from the surface. So in general, P is equal to PA plus rho gh. P is equal to PA plus rho gh. Now for example, if I take this point, then the pressure at this point will be atmospheric pressure plus rho g this much h. If I take pressure at this point, then the pressure at this point will be PA atmospheric pressure plus rho g h, this much h. Are you getting this? Okay. So in general, P is equal to PA plus rho gh. Now over here, P will be the absolute pressure. What will be P? P will be the absolute pressure, and rho gh will be the gauge pressure. Rho gh will be the gauge pressure. Okay. Now why this is called as gauge pressure? Because suppose if I have some device, a pressure measuring device, and on that device it is showing 0 reading, 0 Newton per meter square reading. But this device is itself in the atmosphere surrounding us. So there is atmospheric pressure acting on that, but still it is showing 0 reading. That means the 0 is the reference, the atmospheric pressure is the reference. Now if I connect this device to any other instrument whose pressure we have to measure, and suppose the reading shows 10 Newton per meter square, that means the total pressure or absolute pressure of that thing that whose pressure we are measuring will be atmospheric pressure plus 10 Newton per meter square. That will be the absolute pressure. But gauge pressure will be just 10 Newton per meter square. So gauge pressure is basically called as gauge pressure because gauge is an instrument, measuring instrument. Any measuring instrument is called as gauge, and hence it is called as gauge pressure. So gauge pressure means what pressure does your gauge gives you, or does your instrument gives you. That is the gauge pressure. Okay? So if we consider the atmospheric pressure as a reference, anything above that atmospheric pressure is the gauge pressure. Getting this? Okay, fine. Anyway, so rho gh will be the gauge pressure. Now at bottom of the container, what will be the pressure? If I go at the bottom of the container over here, what will be the pressure? It will be Pa plus rho g, this much h. How much is this h? I am saying this h is capital H, from the surface of the liquid to the bottom of the liquid. So at the bottom of the container, the pressure will be Pa plus rho gh. Getting this? Okay. And now this is the diagram that I have drawn, again explaining what is gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. So this line indicates zero pressure, absolute zero pressure. Now this absolute zero pressure will be there where there is no atmosphere surrounding that point, or there is no pressure surrounding that point. So the pressure will be exactly zero. Okay. Over here there is atmospheric pressure, which is something 10 raised to 5 newtons per meter square. Getting this? And anything above that atmospheric pressure or below that atmospheric pressure, taking this as a reference, is called as gauge pressure. Okay? So we can have pressure which is lesser than the surrounding atmospheric pressure. That is called as vacuum pressure. So that will be measured in minus. Why? Because it will be lesser than the atmospheric pressure. Get this? So if I am saying that the gauge pressure of any surrounding or instrument or the system is plus 10 Newton per meter square, that means the pressure of that system is greater than 10 as compared to the atmospheric pressure. If I say that the system's pressure is minus 10 Newton per meter square, that means it is lesser than the atmospheric pressure by 10 amount. Getting this? Okay. So note down all these things. Fine. Okay. Now we have considered these forces, the vertical forces acting on this vertical cylinder. What about the horizontal forces due to the surrounding fluid? Of course, they will be also there. So over here, the forces will be lesser because this point will have lesser pressure. And as we go below, the pressure will go on increasing, and hence the forces on the liquid column will also go on increasing. So I am drawing here smaller vector. Over here I should draw bigger vector, and as I go down, the vector's magnitude should go on increasing, right? Because the force should go on increasing as the pressure is increasing as we go downwards. Getting this? Okay. But what about these forces? These forces will anyhow cancel each other because this is equal to this, this is equal to this, this is equal to this, and so on. The forces will be in 3 dimensions surrounding that column. Okay? Okay, so I hope you have understood about variation of pressure with depth. So as we go from any point in a fluid downwards, if its density is constant, then the pressure will go on increasing by amount rho gh. Chalo, thank you.